Okay, I know this is only our first interview of 2022, but it's
the
best interview of 2022.
That's what she was going to say. I knew it. And I inclined to agree. She is so fun to talk to. And I'm really excited to see what her future endeavors are going to be.
Yes. So we are talking to Juliette Valle, who is an opera singer. So our first opera singer.
Yes.
But also musical theater student. She did her first professional show when she was 10. And just like all around sweetest person ever.
Yeah. I mean, truly, it was one of those interviews that, I don't know about you, Leah, like every interview is good, but there's just some that kind of energize you after like talking to them and you're like in a really good mood. That's how I feel about this one. And that's a rarity, I feel like. So I'm really happy she came on.
Yep. So without further ado, we'll let you listen to the interview. I'm Leah.
I'm Beth Ann.
And this is She Will Rock You.
Where are they getting a dub in a CBS executive meeting?
No.
Bitch, don't touch my thermostat. The ghost be like, hold up, before I haunt you, let me turn down the thermostat. Who is this band?
We're on page 1, guys.
This is She Will Rock You.
All right. We are joined tonight by the wonderful, amazingly multi-talented Juliette Valle. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
And when I was doing my research, you have quite the resume. You were the 2020-2021 Miss South Florida Fair, but you also were named Best Actress Under 25 in Miami by Broadway World in 2015. So that's like the longest list of awards that any of our guests have had. So congratulations.
It's like, wow, what an introduction.
It's a very prestigious title here at She Will Rock You that we just invented.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's amazing what you have accomplished
Thank you. That's so
said
sweet.
You're only 20?
Yeah, I turned 20 in June.
Wow. I feel old and unaccomplished.
You look very young and you are very accomplished. You have your own podcast.
Thank you. So I guess to start, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into performing.
So I got into performing at age 8. Well, oddly enough, the beginning of, like, I guess you could call my performing, I didn't talk till I was 3, like at all. I made it for last time. You guys will see in a second. But I started doing dance talent shows at like dance summer camp. And eventually I think that people like the counselors realized I was kind of loud and, you know, had a personality despite not talking very much. So they decided to put me in shows. And from there, I just developed a love of performing. I started taking voice lessons at 8 years old. And from there, I became very serious about voice, doing a lot of theatrical productions. I was in my first professional production at 10 years old. And by the time I was 13, I was studying opera. And at 14, I began working with the Florida Grand Opera, and they were kind enough to give me free lessons, take me under their wing. So I'm very lucky that I got all that, you know, all those opportunities at such a young age. And then I joined the University of Miami at 18 years old, so in 2019, and I began studying musical theater. And I did that for a year and a half. But now I no longer study musical theater. I'm studying classical vocal performance and political science, but I still participate in a lot of productions, and I released an album recently. So throughout my whole life, I would say performing has been my biggest passion, and that's probably the main thing about myself that I identify with most, is being a vocalist, is being a musician, and, you know, something I'm just really happy I've gotten to do my whole life.
What drew you to opera? Because it's not a typical, like, 13-year-old activity.
It's really not. And when I first heard, I was actually so upset. I wouldn't say I threw a temper tantrum, but I was definitely not happy because it was actually my first lesson with the vocal coach that I had at the time. And she actually helped me produce my album. So she's still in my life, or helped me make my album. But so, you know, the musical Wicked, we talked about musical theater a little bit before, so I know you ladies know it. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be Elphaba, obviously.
Didn't we all?
Don't we still all?
And then you found your high soprano friend. You're like, you're my Glinda.
Yeah, and I thought I was Elphaba because I thought I'd be like edgy and different. And then she tells me, oh, but you're like a Galinda, like through and through. Like your voice is completely soprano. You should try opera. And of course, you know, like you said, it's not a typical 13-year-old thing. I was like, I don't want to do that. But she told me to give it a go. And I ended up joining the UM Frost School of Music, where I go now, a summer camp in high school. And they put me in the opera program as well, because they said, you know, you could do musical theater, but we really think you should just dive into this. It's like an untapped thing. Just give it a try. And so I did. And the more I tried and the more I got used to singing in a foreign language and, you know, singing pieces that are sometimes over 300 years old, the more I fell in love with it. And now it's a really big passion of mine. In truth, I wouldn't say I want to be a professional opera singer, only because I feel like I still love musical theater. Like that's what I grew up listening to. It's what I love. But I do love singing classical music. And I think that the classical training's been good for me. And I do perform opera when I do, you know, competitions through Miss Florida. It's just something I enjoy doing. But yeah, it's definitely not typical. People are pretty often surprised by that choice.
That's awesome, though, because it shows range. Because for those who don't know, theater singing and opera singing are very two different skills and styles and different ways of like producing that sound. So that's really just awesome how you can adapt between the two.
Thank you. And that's what was hard about the album, too, is that a lot of it was like pop. Some of it was jazz. One of them was theater. One of them was opera. One of them was an Irish folk song because my mom is Irish and she wanted it on there. I
love that.
And actually ended up being one of my favorite songs to record. Initially, I was kind of like, I don't really know if I can handle that style, but it was a lot of fun. I did one big band one. So a lot of different styles, but I feel like that's what I like about it is flexibility. But you're totally right. I think that theater singers, though, are just theater kids in general are just trained to be flexible and adaptable. Yeah. I'm a proud theater kid. I feel like people can tell from my personality that I grew up doing theater. Same.
Yeah.
When you said the Daaé reference, when you heard my last name how it's pronounced, I was like, oh, this girl gets it. They easily get it.
I actually got engaged at Wicked, so very familiar with that show. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! When did your partner propose?
It was 11/11/11.
Oh my gosh!
Which I found the playbill the other day when we were moving.
Did you really?
I found the playbill and the ticket, so I'm gonna frame it and put it in our house.
I still have my Wicked. I actually just found my Wicked ticket from West End when I was cleaning out my desk at my office.
Oh, so you ladies really have been around the world doing theater. That's crazy. One went to the West End, and one got engaged. Did they propose at like intermission or after the show? Or
it was after the show because he wanted to be at 11/11 on 11/11/11. So
I see.
He like stalled me, and our friends went with us, and they stalled us in the lobby. And I was like, guys, I'm just really tired because we left Virginia that morning and got there, so I was like really exhausted. And they're like, no, just read this plaque, and I'm like, I don't want to read the plaque.
This plaque.
And then I turn around, and he proposed. And I was like, what? Okay, what?
Oh my gosh, that I was wondering if he did it like during Defying Gravity or something, and like stumbled through the ring into the audience. I don't know. It could happen. I mean, that's the way I want to be proposed to. So whoever.
He's not that dramatic.
He should have had Alphabet when she was growing up, just like hold the ring in her hand instead of the broomstick. And
will you marry me?
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. And then Zach comes out as Fiyero. I'm just saying.
The people in the lobby were enough an audience for that moment. So
I know. I feel like I could never with like just like sometimes like I feel like everybody gets like a little bit of social anxiety or social awkwardness. I would almost be like embarrassed in the lobby, but I'd also be living for every moment because getting proposed to at the theater is the most adorable thing I've ever heard.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Going back to your album, what made you want to choose a holiday album as your first album? Because it's not usually a typical first foray into recording.
Yeah, no, it's really not. I love Christmas music though. Like I am that girl that makes like loving Christmas a personality trait. Like literally I'm blasting Christmas music in September. So it really is one of my favorite genres of music. And part of what I do, so I work for Organ Donation Charities. I'm an ambassador for Donate Life America, an ambassador for the National Kidney Foundation. And my dad is a nephrologist, which is a kidney doctor. And my mom is a transplant nurse. And so I decided I wanted to make an album that I could donate 100% of the proceeds to organ donation charities because I really wanted a creative way to approach that. And I thought, well, why not use, my ability to sing? And of course, my parents are so unbelievably supportive, and really both of them had such a like a hands-on effort in this. But my dad had always wanted me to make an album, and he knew I always loved Christmas music, so he really was the catalyst for saying let's do this. And so I chose Christmas not only because I love it, but because when you think about it, if you're trying to produce money each year with a genre that doesn't go out of style, you're going to pick Christmas because every year it can be re-promoted. Every year it's not going to get tired. We listen to Christmas classics like from Bing Crosby to Mariah Carey, and it's a time of year that we relish in. So for that reason, I wanted to choose that. But not only that, really the idea of giving the gift of life is what organ donation is about. And that was my main focus here. And so initially I wanted to make it about a giving season. That was the initial title of the album, was The Giving Season, because I thought, what greater gift to give than the gift of life, right? And so the title changed. I eventually made it Joyfully Juliette Valle, which, had to throw my name in the album title, I guess. Subtle flex, whatever you want to call it. But it seems like that people are like, you put your own name in your album. I'm like, well, I didn't mean it like that. I just wanted it to go together. But yeah. I just thought it would be a perfect way to highlight that. So those three main factors were the real reason. And I just also love Christmas. We were considering adding a bonus track, All I Want for Christmas Is You. My mom thought it would be a good idea, but I was like, humbly, I cannot handle Mariah, like any other artist, but I will not do her. I just won't do it. Good idea though, but I'm not covering it.
I love
That's
that.
fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
It's fair.
Not to touch that one.
Yeah.
I love the album. I was listening to it today, which felt very weird, like a month after Christmas at this point. But I added some to my Christmas playlist that I, have had for years and grow on Spotify. And I was like, these are some timeless Christmas songs. I really enjoy the album.
In 11 months, you have to be blasting it, everywhere you go. Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
It'll be my putting up my tree soundtrack.
Oh, amazing.
What was your favorite part of creating this album?
Picking out the arrangements that I wanted to use for each song was going to be my favorite part, because like you guys mentioned, you guys clearly have a knowledge of music and how versatile it could be. But a lot of Christmas music, it's repetitive in nature. And I wanted to make this album, for lack of a better term, as eclectic as possible, because my music taste could not be more all over the place. It just really is. And so I wanted to choose every song that I had based off an arrangement I really liked. And actually the team I had of producers, I worked with Vanquish Studios, and they were just the best and just the most world-class musicians. They played all the music themselves. So of course things were going to change, but we had very specific ideas in mind. So for example, the first single I released a full year before the album came out, like 11 months before, because of COVID, there was delays and we could only record one single by 2020. But I chose Winter Wonderland by Aretha Franklin, who I didn't even know sung that song. Maybe if people really love her or really know their vintage Christmas music, they knew that, but I didn't. I really knew Johnny Mathis, and that's probably about it, who sang that song. And I loved hers because it was very jazzy, very 1960s pop. And I thought, what an interesting cover. I'd really like to do that. So then from then on, I decided I want to make every single cover I choose really unique. I ended up choosing a lot of two Josh Groban influences for What Child Is This? Angels We Have Heard on High. I love Josh Groban. Again, probably musical theater fans, you know him. I chose Kelly Clarkson, My Favorite Things, which is a traditional musical theater song. I loved her arrangement of it because it's really the only person I've heard that's done it on a Christmas album. The opera song, I wanted to have an opera song on there, Ave Maria Cavalleria Rusticana. It's a lesser known version of Ave Maria, but it's a classic song. People love Ave Maria, but I wanted to pick one that was lesser known, at least to most people. So I chose that. And again, the Irish folk song, that was my one duet on the album. I thought it was such a great song by the Pogues. My parents introduced me to it, and I just thought it was, you really hear an Irish Christmas song. At least I haven't. So I wanted to make it both classics and, rarer ones. Like I begin with White Christmas. There's nothing more traditional than that, but I end with that duet. So from beginning to end, I wanted it to be like, a taste of Christmas in so many different genres. That was really the goal. So that was probably my favorite part.
That's great. I love the diversity of it.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the goal.
I love that. So looking ahead at this year for 2022, what are your plans? Do you have more music, more shows planned? What you got?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm still studying in college, music and getting through that. I just found out that I might be graduating early next semester. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, it should be fun. I don't want to leave. I don't want to rush my time at UM because it's been so great. But focusing on that and getting through the music program, because it really is very rigorous. And so I'm fortunate to be a part of it. But I don't want it to be rushed. So I was thinking about doing another album, although I would really love to do original music. I have a vocal coach. Her name is Beth Cohen. She's toured with Pink Floyd, toured with the Bee Gees. She's just really a phenomenal. Toured with Boston. So she wants to help me write some original music, and I'm thinking about that because although I'd love to add additional tracks to my Christmas album, I do really want to go beyond that holiday genre and see what else I can create. And also, too, what I realized about promoting an album is Christmas music is really lovable, but it's hard to market songs that have already been released by other artists. It's way harder. If you have your own original stuff, it makes it a lot easier and a lot more of your own label, a lot more of your own brand. And so that's something I'm looking forward to. That's going to be a unique challenge, especially for me. I'll have said it many times and I'll say it again. I'm theatrical. I'm operatic. I'm not a pop singer. That's not my personal style. But trying to figure out how to get in the recording studio and have an appropriate cadence and volume and approach to that music, that's something I'm really excited for and focusing on. And of course, I just gave up my title as Miss South Florida Fair, as you mentioned, this past Saturday, and it was extended by 2 years because of COVID. So I'm probably going to compete for another title again. Fingers crossed, I get a good one. I'm not sure yet, and I'll probably recompete for Miss Florida and perform my talent there, and hopefully be able to promote the album and my organization for organ donation on a bigger scale.
That's some crazy big plans for this year.
Yeah, it's a big plan. So I was thinking, what do I have planned for 2022? And now that I said it out loud, I'm like, oh, I better get that done. But yeah, the year will pass by quickly. I mean, 2021 was just like over in an instant, in my opinion.
Yes, it really was.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to watch. I followed you on Instagram, so
Thank you. I'll follow you back.
I'll be watching as you go about these.
Yes.
But before I throw it to Beth Ann for our lightning round questions, where can people find you online?
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube under Juliette Valle. It's just my name. On Instagram at the official Juliette Valle. I know the official Juliette Valle. It sounds so pretentious because I don't really think that there's like many people trying to pretend to be me, but I just wanted something that sounded like I don't know. People are like, you call yourself the official Juliette Valle. I'm like, yes, but I wanted a name out there. That didn't seem like my personal Instagram. That was professional. So quick disclaimer about that in case any of you looked me up and you were like, wow, this girl loves herself. No, I just wanted to have a professional name. And then on Facebook, it's just Juliette Valle, and on Spotify and iTunes, it's Juliette Valle. On TikTok, it's wildly embarrassing. So if you want to look me up there to see how not on trend I am, you can find me at Juliette V23. And I think that's pretty much it. I really don't use Twitter very much, so don't look me up there. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Sorry, I was looking up your official handle of Juliette Valle.
Yeah, it's not the actual. It's not the real. It's the official.
It's the official. That's right. I'm gonna have to look.
Right.
I'll have to look that up after this interview.
You guys got to make sure my aesthetic is on point. I know you guys
Hey, I'll give you full critique.
Nope.
I'm sure it's great though.
It's great.
But the thing about me is that I would really appreciate that. Like, I would love if you DM me and we're like, hey, it's been 4 months since we've talked, but I finally got around to looking at your Instagram and here's 3 main things that are wrong with it. I'd appreciate that because I personally, I just post a lot about my dogs and, sometimes
then you already have the correct aesthetic. Let me tell you.
That's Beth Ann's
That's
content.
my account. I post pictures of food I made, then my dogs, and then occasionally a selfie, and that's all you're getting out of me.
No, but that's great.
it.
I mean, I love that. Same here. Maybe an inspirational quote or two, though, because you got to throw it up on the gram. Make sure people feel motivated.
Exactly. All right. First question in the lightning round question. I needed to make sure I knew how to word it.
Did you lose your questions?
I'm switching questions around because I'm going to start with a different one. Who would make a better opera singer? And if you have supporting arguments, I am willing to hear it. But who would make a better opera singer, a dog or a cat?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to say dogs, particularly mine, because there's no higher pitched or louder animals in the entire universe, and they really just howl with a lot of power. And I think you need that breath support and that volume, because opera singers, they don't sing with a mic. That's traditionally how they operate.
Correct.
So you have to be loud and you have to have projection. And again, dogs, as many of you know, can bark for a very long time, and operas are often very long. I'm sure cats would be lovely to look at on stage, probably more aesthetically pleasing, but when it comes to opera, it's about the voice, not about the look. So I'm gonna have to give it to the dogs.
That is a beautifully answered question.
Thank
Follow-up question: do you think cats would be more well suited in jazz because of their soft meows?
You know what?
Rhythmic
Honestly,
meows.
yes, because
almost.
Yes, because jazz is more about like scatting and more about like a little bit of wordplay, a little bit of volume play. It's not constantly being loud. Yes.
Just saying.
That was a very good play on words. Wow. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say they would make better jazz singers. I think that's actually a very valid argument. I think that's good. Dogs is opera, cats is jazz, and I'm not sure who would be better at pop. I don't think either.
Probably. I'm gonna say pigs. I'm feeling a strong pig energy for pop.
I was thinking ferrets, but okay.
I mean, yeah, that's a unique one. I'm gonna spend way more time thinking about this than I should. Like on the night I have a huge test, instead of thinking about that, I'm gonna think about what pop song would best suit a pig. Yes. And that's gonna be what I'm focusing on this year.
Good. I would love to hear the follow up of that. Please.
I'll send you an essay. One day at 3 a.m. you'll be like, who is this in my Instagram DM request? And you're why is she sending me an essay?
Oh, no, I would love to hear it.
Okay.
This is if you go for your master's, I'm just saying, this is dissertation material.
Your thesis.
You may borrow it from me. I am happy to just have a small lowly credit at the bottom of it. But no.
Of course.
All right, next question. What was the last song you listened to on Spotify?
Oh, okay. Let me look that up. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Now my Spotify is going to take forever to look. Oh, it's called Make His Pockets Hurt by Little Kayla. Make His Pockets Hurt. I was just playing it out loud. My friends and I love that anthem. Because why not? It's a great message. I know you two were not expecting that. It's a song I would probably listen to.
I'm going to look it up after we hang up for sure.
Oh, and also one before that, which I love, is Homage by Mild High Club. It's not Mile High Club, it's Mild High Club. Don't get it twisted.
I think they just showed up on my Discover Weekly the other day when I was at the gym.
It's really good. And then I'll give you one more. Oh, Paranoid by Black Sabbath. That's an eclectic list.
That is a great list.
Excellent choice.
From Make His Pockets Hurt to Ozzy Osbourne. It's a Monday, so there you go. That's what I love it.
I love it. What is your go-to coffee order?
Oh, okay. I get a grande cold brew with non-sweet cold foam, and recently I started adding a little bit of cinnamon powder on top, which sounds gross, but oddly enough, it's really great, and it just makes it like so aesthetically pleasing. Like definitely Instagram story worthy coffee.
That sounds absolutely delicious.
And I just like my coffee really plain, and I like it strong, and I drink coffee like 4 cups a day. It's like almost bad, but I love my coffee. I'm very particular about how I get it.
If I do a cold brew, I just ask for like a teeny bit of sweetness, just a smidge, because I don't like things that are super sweet. So, but like a cinnamon, that's a good hack because it almost feels like you have sweetness in it.
Exactly. Like it's not sweet because, again, like if I like had any sweet coffee in the morning, I feel like it would make me like not feel like maybe like nauseous. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to like get too into it. Like, but I don't know.
It's a lot first thing in the morning.
For some, like for me, it just would be, but I love, like, I get what you're totally saying. Like the cold brew is like a lot to take, but for me, it's almost like water at this point. I've just drank so much coffee. The cinnamon is so good. It really makes you feel like you're indulging even if you're not. Fun fact.
Good to know.
I'm adding that to my next Starbucks order for sure.
Yeah, and I'm a cinnamon girl. Like I really am. I love cinnamon. You could just put it on anything and I will absolutely love it. It's like a personality trait at this point.
I love it. Absolutely love it. The last question, and I may now know where you're going. I'm taking bets on what the answer is going to be.
I think we're on the same
I think we're on the same path. So this is our quintessential She Will Rock You question. And
okay.
It almost is like a personality test, like Myers-Briggs, except it's way more simpler. So anyway, the question is, if you were a cereal, which would you be and why?
Oh, that's a good one. And I don't even say that sarcastically. That is so good. Oh, no, I got to think of this. All right. Well, I'm going to really come up with a good one on the fly. Okay. I'm going to say Fruity Pebbles. Now, yes, I am very colorful. I'm a very colorful person. And I really couldn't decide on one color, even if I tried. Like every outfit of mine has to be like all colors of the rainbow or nothing. And I feel like it's like, not necessarily the most popular cereal. I mean, you're not thinking like, she's no Cinnamon Toast Crunch. She's no Lucky Charms, but she's good. She's a good one. And, what she's in your cereal bowl, she's there for you. She's offering a good time. It's getting really deep. I'm sorry. I'm like going to start crying.
No. See, I told you, this is a Meyer-Briggs level question.
And then too, but Fruity Pebbles are not like in your face, like big and chunky cereals. Like, there's like Cookies Crisp, and then they're totally obnoxious because it's just like huge. I'm going back to my childhood, remembering all the cereals. Or like Cap'n Crunch. Like, everyone loves Cap'n Crunch. Just they're like the popular girls. But Fruity Pebbles, they're elegant. They're small. They're not like shouting in your face, particularly from what I can remember, the flavor. It's not too overbearing, and yet it's just right. It's subtle, and yet it's very colorful and vibrant. Thank you.
I love it. Excellent.
I love that.
Thank you for coming to Juliette's TED Talk.
Yes.
It got really emotional. I was like,
I love it. No.
The biggest takeaway is that Cap'n Crunch and Cookie Crisp, if that's your favorite cereal, then you are full of yourself.
It's that sound on TikTok. You pretentious fuck.
Yes, literally.
You dumb hipster.
But wait, now I want to know what you guys' favorite, or what, if you were a cereal, what would you be? I have to know.
We've answered this question before, and I think mine has changed since we last discussed. Maybe not that much, though.
Stole Christmas Crunch from me, so I had to come up with a better answer.
Our first answer was the Captain Crunch Christmas cereal, like a very specific. Like, I only get that one around Christmas time.
Sorry for the Captain Crunch slander. That was.
Oh, no. I am a pretentious fuck, and I've known him my entire life. But, like, lately, like, I have been eating more cereal as I've gotten older. I don't know if that's a thing. But lately, it's been Honey Bunches of Oats with almond. And I think it's because it's got a little bit of variety. It's got the flakes, both a regular flake and a wheat flake, depending on your day. And then it's got granola because you need a little nut kick to it. And then you got almond because you just need a little bit more nuts than you think you needed.
Yes, so that's where I would agree. And also the essence really of that cereal too. It actually is just very fragrant almost. It's like not a typical cereal. It's like a very much an artisanal. It's a culinary experience, if you will. And also it's a cereal you can eat without milk. Like, I haven't eaten cereal in forever, but in high school I used to love it.
The true identity of a cereal. Can you eat it without milk? Because if you need milk for a cereal, then that's not a good cereal.
Yeah, it really isn't. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people out here enjoy it, but I remembered as a kid the Special K with red berries. Like,
I hate that cereal.
People would be munching on it, and I'd be like, "Girl, you need to douse that in milk right now. That is unsavory and unpalatable."
The strawberries are so bitter. Them.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to know what yours is now, though, Leah.
Mine is frosted shredded wheat because like it looks like it's gonna be healthy and crunchy and kind of hard at first, and like it's not gonna go over well. But when you start eating it, like they're kind of soft and sweet.
I forgot
honestly,
your answer for that, and that is Leah to a T. She scares every single person she meets.
I do.
Is that basically mini wheats? Is that like
yeah.
Well, that's actually a superior cereal, so I would have to agree with you. What cereal did you think I was gonna say?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
No, you see, you might think that, but no, because I am not basic. And someone that came on here and said that, they are. No, I'm kidding. I don't know how many videos have said that.
I love it.
Yeah. No, I will admit it's a very good cereal, but I'm sticking with my choice. I'm proud.
You can't judge a cinnamon girl by the cover.
Yes.
That's what we've learned today.
Oh, that's why you guys. Oh, I guess I'm trading my own brand. Okay, but that's fake cinnamon. We're talking about the authentic, straight out of the spice can cinnamon. Again, an artisanal culinary experience.
That's right.
Oh my God, my dogs are singing opera.
I hear them.
Oh my God.
Sing the Op 62 again.
And on that note, thank you so much for coming. This has been like truly one of the most fun interviews I think we've ever done.
Yes, I agree to that.
Yeah, you ladies are so much fun to talk to. I had such a good time, and I'm going to keep up with all your stuff. And, if I ever win Miss Florida, do another album, please invite me back again.
Yes.
You are welcome back anytime.
You are on the re-welcome back list. Thank you for listening. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you like this show. Special thanks to Death of Fawn for our intro riff. You can visit our website at shewillrockyou.com. There you'll find links to our social, the show notes, and a place where you can contact us. Other than that, don't do drugs.